Vlog day 979. A mild palindrome.
Good morning. It's Friday. Today's gonna be a fun day because I get to go to the tax office finally. Hooray! Attempt number, I don't know, 3, 4, something. This is a different tax office though, a different one than I've gone to before. And you know, theoretically it's the right one this time. With papers handed me by my accountant, everything's printed off. I gotta fill out a couple forms. I'm gonna get some coffee, fill out those forms, and then make my way to the office, which thankfully is not terribly far away, but is even closer thanks to my wheel. That's what's on the table this morning. This evening is a meetup, which is the first meetup during the game. Let's see how many people were able to figure out when and where it was through the game and not through the giant cheat that I just handed out via Instagram this morning. And hopefully it's more than one, maybe two, you know? We're gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna do a little bit of an update and housekeeping on the game here this morning as well for you, but first, I gotta pay my taxes. All right, I've had my coffee. I've filled out everything I can. I don't actually know how to fill out the last form. Thankfully I have it, because apparently it's one of those ones they would forget to give me in the first place because they forgot to give me most of the forms the last time I was in one of these offices. Here goes. I'll let you know what it's like when I'm done. All right, the guy in there was actually really nice. I'm just missing one thing. Of course I'm missing one thing, and it's a thing that I have, ooh, Space Invader. It's a thing that I have in my other dossier, but not in the dossier I've got with me. So I gotta go all the way home, get that, come back. But before I do that, I need a Space Invader. All right, on my way back. Missing one thing, hoping that I can make up for it with another thing. We'll see shortly. And today might be for naught in the end. Okay, here's the internal recap. I'm getting a little bit of they're very friendly. Everybody here is really, really nice, but I'm still getting the French bureaucracy bounce around. Came in, finally was able to get everything turned in to declare myself for taxes, but now I have to declare my business and get an exemption. He sent me to the 4th floor. A guy on the 4th floor looked at my stuff and said, no, you gotta go to the 5th floor. Went to the 5th floor. She's like, yes, I can help you, but you have to pay in cash and you have to pay before noon because we don't take payment after noon. So now I'm running downstairs to go across the street to withdraw cash and then pay the guy downstairs. Get a receipt for that. And then go upstairs, show her the receipt. She'll help me finish filling out the paperwork and hopefully we're all done by noon. Anyways, keep going. Thankfully there was a branch of my bank right across the street. Okay, back up. In the elevator on the way down, success. I had to sit down with 2 different people, fill out a form, pay the random, everything worked out. It's all turned in, it's all good. Now I gotta wait like 8 months to actually get any paperwork back from them apparently. Something like that. And then I gotta do my 2018 taxes, but that's a whole other story. Let's get out of here. Cool, I just recorded this whole thing and only to discover that my camera wasn't actually recording the whole time. Taxes are done, which is fantastic. And well, sort of done. I still have to do 2018. We don't need to talk about it. It's its own thing. I still think it's crazy that the French government requires me to show up and hand in papers to declare myself for taxes, even though they're aware that I'm here because I'm obviously playing. The whole thing, who knows? The people at the office though were very, very nice. Overall, a very good experience, even if it doesn't make sense to me entirely. Happy that it's out of the way. On to the game. I'm gonna try and sum up a couple of things. One, I'm gonna hit like a little bit of a recap, what the game is or what it should be for those of you that are like, what the heck is Jay talking about? 2, what I've learned from this week, and 3, what I think we're gonna do going forward from this week. Starting with the recap. If you're unaware what the game is, basically, I've taken my recommendations and I've drilled them down into a series of waypoints that you can stop at when you're exploring the city. I'm gonna be giving you more. There is one map on travelunlock.com along with all the rules and all the information you should need. Travelunlock.com, go check it out. You can see one of the maps. I'm gonna put out a few more that are kind of suggested routes you can take while you're here in Paris, depending on how long you're here for. And then as you're going along the way, I've found coffee shops, bars, restaurants, some really cool stuff, some tour guides, all those things that you might want that you can stop along the way. It's not at the saturation point that I want yet. I want to get it a little bit higher. I obviously want more places involved, but to start, they're wonderful places. They're fantastic. So when you go in, you need to let them know I'm playing the game or I'm playing Jay's game. If you want to post on social media, it's hashtag Jay's Game Paris. And what they're supposed to do is if you go and you say, hey, I'm playing the game, most of them are offering a discount of some sort. So they'll offer you whatever that discount is, which is also listed under their name on the Mapster account. And they're going to give you a little franc sticker. It's a coin, right? So if you collect all the coin stickers everywhere you go. What you can do at the end is you can exchange those in for postcards. Each coin or each franc that you turn in at the end is worth 2 points. Every unique sticker you buy, you can buy in addition unique stickers. There are 9 of them right now. You can collect them all. Each of those is worth an additional point. You get to keep those. Don't worry about turning those in. And if you collect all 9 of them, you get a bonus 10 points, which is worth another postcard. Every postcard is worth 10 points. So for every 5 waypoints you stop in, theoretically, along the way, you've got a postcard. The next level of that is introducing riddles and some other fun things. Okay, this is attempt number 3. I'm actually getting really frustrated with my camera right now, so I will be checking in on it to make sure that it's still recording every couple minutes. Frustration. I think it got cut off when I was talking about the riddles. The next level is adding riddles, and those riddles are just ways to get you out and exploring the city. Things that shouldn't be very easy to Google, that you actually have to go see in person, and that require a little bit of interaction from the waypoints as well. Which brings us to the part, I think, about what I learned from this week, and then what we do next. And even there, I'm gonna check and make sure that the camera is still recording. I got stuff to do. I don't have time for this. I'm not gonna change the angles and stuff as much as I've been doing because I just gotta get through this before the thing. Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have the riddles out yet because I think there's a level of complexity that we need to kind of grow into with the waypoints. Part of it, I think, is that what I've learned from this week and getting feedback from a number of you who have already played, thank you so much for that feedback, whether I met you in person or you sent me a note, is that most of the places are doing okay. Some of them are definitely failing to communicate clearly more regularly than others. It's just a matter for me to know that and to be able to approach them and say, hey, what do I need to do to help you to get this rolling again? Some ideas on how I'm gonna be able to improve that with them. Some of it's just gonna take time and a little bit of repetition. So every time you go into one of these places and you kind of give them a poke, and you're like, hey, I'm here, I'm playing Jay's game. For them, it cements the idea that this is a real thing that's happening and that is something that they need to be ready for. And it's understandable. A number of them shared stories with me about other referral programs and things that they've participated in over the years that never really resulted in anything. So I think that there was a level, even though a lot of them were really excited to do this, they liked the concept, I think some of them harbored a little bit of skepticism that anything would actually come from it. And so I think that the fact that people are already showing up and that I think it's really starting to cement for them, oh, okay, we need to make sure we're actually ready for this. So they're really busy, they're running businesses, they're coming along. So thank you so much for your patience with that and those moments. And for those of you that actually reached out to let me know about them and simultaneously said, hey, I still had a good time, still got a great coffee, whatever. I was a little disappointed not to get my sticker there, but you know, I'm really glad I went there nonetheless. That's kind of like the best worst case scenario that we could have. At least you're having a grand time. For me, the importance, ultimately, the central piece of this game is that everybody has a good time going to new places, trying new things, and meeting new people, and that, like, yeah, basically if you follow the game, just like if you follow my guide or if you jump on my Mapster through Patreon, but especially through the game because it's a little bit more actively cultivated, that you could basically spend an entire week in Paris going to all these places, have a great time, and no regrets. That it would be primo. So that's really, really the key. Is that a mosquito? No. What I learned from this week then was that we need to do a little bit more communication. One of the other things that we struggled with was the meetup. There's a meetup tonight. Will anybody even show up to the meetup? Yes, because I cheated and I let everybody know where it was last minute. But one of the things that we ran into was that a lot of the waypoints didn't really understand how that information was supposed to be disseminated. And I think a number of players didn't really know how they were supposed to get that information, which means that I'm the problem still. The communication. I communicate better. You know what helps you communicate better? A camera that doesn't randomly check out on you and that you can trust. The way that it works from a user standpoint, so from your side, is that you just need to ask. Go into the waypoints, ask where the meetup is, and they'll give you like pieces of information. We'll see how that works. If it doesn't work and we're not able to actually piece this together and people aren't able to find the waypoints or aren't able to find the meetups and the waypoints aren't really able to stay on top of it, I might have to change that. We might have to try and figure that out, which is okay. This is the whole point right now, right? Is that we're learning as we go. And I've said this like 4 times now, so hopefully, I don't know if it's already on camera or not, but thank you so much for being willing to be a guinea pig, for being willing to test this out and to try it, because like I said, every time that we push into these things and we find problems or faults or whatever, we're learning and we're able to iterate and change and grow around it. So it's really, 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 really helpful. Now that I'm checking religiously, it hasn't stopped recording. Why, camera? Why? I thought we had such a good thing going. I don't get it. Okay, where we're going from here then is that I'm gonna hopefully this week launch the riddles. They're not out there yet. I know for those of you that got the clue through the beta or are gonna get a clue through Patreon, I'm gonna send an exclusive clue to my patrons. Thank you for waiting patiently. I'm hoping to get them out now. The trick is that I have to get all of the components out to the waypoint points first before I give them to you, because obviously if I give them to you first, a lot of you guys are gung-ho and jumping on this so quickly that they wouldn't have any idea what's going on. So I'm gonna try, rework the cheat sheets that I've given them to be more clear and give all the information that they need, including the riddle components, and you'll see they're basically sentences. I've written out these nonsensical rhymes that have two holes. They've got two gaps in the rhyme, like missing words or phrases, and basically some of them have just one missing word, which you'll be able to fill on your own, and some of them have two missing words, which requires a waypoint somewhere to fill in a portion of it and then help you out with it. I'm a little bit like over and under prepared for that in different ways, so I'm just trying to figure out how to actually launch that without causing chaos, and the easiest way may be just to start with the bonus riddles and then add the other riddles on later. We'll see. I'm also very curious, hold on, still recording. I'm also very curious to know what the experience is like actually exchanging points for postcards, if anybody's gone through that yet. So far, I think a lot of people have just kept all the stickers because they love the stickers, which is great. If that ends up being the case and the postcards aren't so useful, okay, I will, I'll just find something else to do with all those postcards that I printed. But for those of you who are really excited, I just realized I have so much work I have left to do. There's so much to do. We'll get on top of it. We're gonna get on top of it. But speaking of work to do, that should pretty much sum it up. I think I got the whole explanation of what the game is in there. If not, maybe I'll have to reshoot that as well. But if there's anything that you're curious about or don't understand, remember to go to travelunlock.com. All the rules are there. You've got resources, some maps, you've got links to my guide, you've got links to the Mapster, you've got links to everything. So hopefully everything is on there and makes good sense. I'm gonna work on the communication aspect of it, drilling everything down. I'll probably make another video or two along the way fully explaining it as it evolves. And yeah, I hope you have a great time with it while you're here. I gotta get ready for a meeting before tonight's meetup, so I'm gonna go meet another potential waypoint here right now. It's our second meeting. Hopefully we get rolling with it from there. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for another beautiful day in Paris that hopefully does not involve taxes or betrayals by cameras. And if we can get those two things nailed down, then I will be happy. That's nailing / drumming. Oh man. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night.